Hey everyone, it's Ken and Andrea here from Northern Viking Explorer. Today we want to share our review with you of our cabin, Inside Cabin 10161 on the Norwegian Prima. Let's go ahead and dive right into what this cabin had to offer. So let's jump into our cabin. We had an Inside Cabin 10161, kind of midship, right next to the elevators actually on deck 10.
I was really worried about that, being right next to the elevator. Because I was worried we would hear the elevator.
Yeah.
But I never heard the elevator once.
I was shocked we didn't hear the elevator once.
No. It was actually a very quiet cabin. I did hear people go down the halls at times when, they're laughing at that kind of thing.
That was typically the late at night, someone heading back to their room from the bar type of
laughing.
noise.
Yeah.
But the elevator noise and people waiting for that, not once did I hear it.
And I never heard noise from the cabin on the other side of us either.
No.
I couldn't hear talking or TV.
Or behind the cabin. Sometimes there's hallways behind the cabin, and we didn't hear anything from that either.
I heard occasional in the evening, but not late evening, some rolling sound.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But it wasn't while we were trying to sleep.
No.
So it was,
for sure.
For trying to sleep, amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the cabin was beautiful. Lots of light in there. That's the first thing I noticed. It was probably, I'm going to just say it, was probably one of the nicest, if not the nicest, inside cabins we've stayed in. Not necessarily the biggest, but one of the nicest.
I love that gray look. It's very clean, sleek. And like you said, a lot of lighting. So it was very bright.
Modern design.
I didn't feel claustrophobic in it at all. It was very pleasant.
Yeah, no, for sure. I want to talk about, I think let's just start out with plugs.
This is important to
us. This is important to us.
Ken, this is really...
So there was, in the vanity, there was 2 regular plugs. And then a European plug, a USB-A and a USB-C port, which was really nice. Good. And then beside the bed, so one side had a traditional regular North American plug. The other side did not, which there were so many plugs it didn't matter. There was 2 USB ports, USB-A and 2 USB-C ports. So I think, was it one on each side of each, I believe?
I don't recall.
But there was lots of plugs, so which was nice.
It was really nice. It was easy to charge all our stuff. I could use my curling iron. We had... It was really wonderful. And even we brought that adapter for the European one. Yeah. For the plug that was under the TV. Yeah. Which was good because then you could charge all the batteries and stuff below the TV. And then I still had the vanity area to myself.
Even though there was lots of plugs, we did use I have a European plug adapter that you plug in and it gives you an extra USB ports, and we really like those. So it's one of our favorite things that we bring on a cruise. You can check that out.
But it was nice to be able to move our stuff onto that other desktop area. It was really convenient.
For sure. Storage.
I thought the storage was good. A little interesting I'm just going to say it now, was that there was no full length side for dresses. Okay. Like there was like a longer end, but if you had a true evening gown long, there wasn't a side long enough.
Is that one of your wishes?
You know what? It didn't affect me. Okay. So I wasn't bothered by that, but just a good to know. Yeah. Okay. Definitely a good to know.
So, I mean, I would say there was definitely enough storage, especially because there was drawers in the vanity area that were quite large. And they were deep, kind of under the TV area.
Okay, yes, I did like that. And they pulled out really nice. And they were, like, really deep.
Yeah, and you might laugh that I'm going to say this. They were really smooth and they rolled really well. Because we've been on ships where you can barely get the
bearings have worn out. I've actually had one where the bearings came out.
The little ball bearings rolling all over. So everything was still very well maintained. There was a hairdryer. Was it powerful enough?
Did the job.
And there was a little cooler fridge.
Yes.
And it was actually
quite cold.
Colder than, I don't know if it's still, sometimes it's just classified as a cooler and sometimes it's a fridge, and I'm not sure what this was classified as, but it definitely was on the cooler side.
If you were coming with medication that had to be refrigerated, I would still contact Norwegian to verify that. But we found it nice and cold for our drinks.
Yeah. So the bed.
It was comfy.
It was comfy.
Very comfy.
The linens were nice. The pillows were nice. It was comfy. And usually the test for me is, did I wake up with a sore back? I didn't wake up with a sore back. There's been times where we've woken up with sore backs on a cruise ship. Not on this one.
And the pillows were good.
Yeah.
I slept really good. The one thing, though, that was interesting is you can see under the bed on this. Mm-hmm. There's no, like, curtain hanging down.
Yeah.
So if you're like many of us, you'd like to store your suitcase under the bed. It was a tighter squeeze.
It did fit, though.
It did, but not all suitcases will fit.
No, not if you have a really fat suitcase.
Yeah. Like, I had to kind of, like...
Well, we had bought 10 pairs of shoes.
That's true.
So our suitcases were still full. Anyway. But the other thing, so the walls and ceiling were metal. Mm-hmm. So our hooks that we like to hook on everything, those worked. If you want some of those, we'll link them in the description. But they're great for hanging things like hats or putting up our daily news on the wall, that sort of thing.
Like, we keep our schedule right against the wall. And our lanyards we hang up. It just keeps everything organized. Mm-hmm. It's much easier to find your things. I like the hooks. So,
yeah, for sure. The room really was a shining light for an interior cabin, but even brighter than that was the washroom.
Before we get there, I'm going to say one more thing. I was first worried that it wasn't cold enough.
Okay.
When we got into the cabin. But it actually cooled right down and got nice and chilly. Because I felt a little panicked at first. So if you get in there and you're like, oh no, this is too warm, give it some time. It will cool down.
Well, you did have to have your key card in for the cooling system to work. So if you walk in there and there's been no key card for a few hours, it might be on the warmer side, but it did cool down. Yeah. But the shining star was definitely the washroom.
It was huge.
For an inside cabin, it was huge. Yeah.
For a cruise ship, it's huge.
Yeah. Well, not like suite.
Not the size of your house.
No. But if you have a suite on a cruise ship, it's not that huge. But for an inside cabin or even a balcony cabin, it was big.
It was big. Yeah. I was impressed.
Yeah. So it had a big, I would say, like almost double the size shower of what we've typically had in a inside cabin with a full like glass or acrylic door. It was so nice, like not being wrapped up caught in the shower curtain. It was nice.
And the shower head.
The shower head was amazing. A multi-spray, 4 sprays or 5 sprays.
And it went adjusted up and down, and there was lots of headroom.
Yeah.
There was no bending down to put your head under.
There was drawers in there, a big modern sink.
The one drawer you could easily miss. I think it took us a day to find. Yeah. It was the one right next to the toilet, and it had a hand bar or a towel bar on it.
Yeah, I think when we first went there, we thought it was just the towel bar, but it actually
opens up, which is great if you want to put some personal items in there. It was really handy.
Yeah. And then there was a fair bit of storage under the sink as well.
Lots of storage there.
The TV, I'll just mention it. It was maybe a 40-inch TV. And there was a fair amount of free on-demand movies. One wish I will say, though, because I do like it when they have on-demand like comedies and sitcoms.
Ken loves sitcoms.
So I don't think there was any of that, or if there was, it was very minimal. Yeah. So I do appreciate when they have that. But there was a fair amount of free movies, and I think some you paid for as well. So
I watched quite a few.
Of the paid for ones?
No.
I didn't look at the bill. Good thing I won at Price is Right.
It is a good thing.
So the other thing is I'll go back out. There was outside the bathroom, there was, I believe it was 4 hooks outside the bathroom. Which was excellent. Nice as well on the wall. And there was a light switch right by the bed, so you could turn off the main lights when you're laying in bed, which was nice.
It was really handy.
Yeah. Do you have any wishes on the cabin? Because I don't really have any. Like we've stayed in a lot of inside cabins, and like it was almost perfect.
No, I really liked this cabin. Like I said, it didn't feel claustrophobic. It felt big enough. It was a relaxing space to head to.
Yeah. So there was a couple of notes or take note of this.
Okay.
Things. You'd wanted to talk about the cleaning.
Yeah, so I wouldn't put this as a wish. This is more just be aware and know. It appeared for us that our room was cleaned later in the day.
Very late in the day.
So after 3 o'clock. And so this is not a problem to us.
Sometimes almost right before dinner, like 3 to 5-ish, yeah.
And this isn't a problem for me, except I like fresh towels every day when I'm on a cruise. At home, I don't, but I find in the bathroom nothing dries. And so the towels are quite wet, so I do drop them on the floor, hoping for some fresh towels.
Yeah.
And so the only time I found this to be an issue is when you come back from being in port all day and you want to have a shower and now your towels are on the floor.
Yeah.
So that being said, our room steward was in the hall. We could have asked him at any time for towels. I really try not to bother them too much. I know they're very, very busy. Or we could have grabbed one of the towels up from the pool deck, which would have been quite easy. So that was the only little hiccup for me. I'm wondering if their start time is a little bit later or if we were just at the end of, our room steward's rotation. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit later.
I know I said I didn't have any wishes, but...
Oh, you lied?
I lied. I actually thought of one.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
And this is so dumb, but the bathroom door really slams.
Really slams. And so this isn't just like us noting this. We overheard people talking about how they were like tying up their bathroom door to the closet in the hall to try and keep it
to
open.
The main door, like with their belt and things.
Yes, so to keep it from
slamming,
because it was loud.
It was loud and a big thug. So watch your fingers.
Yeah. It's noisy.
And not really a wish, but I prefer a closed-in nightstand as well. Like these were open.
I like that for putting, like, if you have any medication or if you have, like, small earbuds, it's nice to have things closed in and put away. It looks tidier, and I feel like I'm less likely to knock things under the bed and lose them.
It was fine, but it's just
not
my number one choice. But amazing inside cabin from all the ones we've stayed in. I think this was probably my favorite.
Yeah, I'll be happy to stay there again.
Yeah, so it was awesome. So that's our thoughts on our cabin on the Norwegian Prima.